Welcome. I'm going to go over the installation and use of the August profile that I've provided. You will have gotten a zip file that contains all the files that you'll need to accomplish this. So once we unzip that and we look at the folder, you'll find the profile, the profile image, and a config tool. This Ruby script here is used in the config tool. So one other thing that you'll need in addition to this on your computer is a text editing software. I like Text Edit. Text Mate. Text Edit will actually change the encoding on the file and will cause profiles to break. So don't use Text Edit. Use Text Mate. It'll keep the files the same as they are intended to, and I'll include a link for you to download that in the video. You will need to unfortunately edit the profile for this profile to work properly, and I'll go through that. So we'll open up this profile with TextMate, and don't let this scare you. It's pretty easy. There's just a few things that we want to edit in here. The big thing is the token right here. That is what actually allows this to communicate properly with the August Cloud account. Every time you change the token for each of your customers, you're going to work on this file, you're going to change the token, and you're going to want to change the XML version number. So you'll increment that to 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, and so on. If you install it to 50 times, 2.50, that's fine. It's not a problem. This will make sure that as you're updating it, the token that you're using will be in the file for the version number that you've set here. So when you look in Blueprint, you can confirm that, yep, the version number matches the file I was just working on. And you can even put a little note in here for yourself, 2.2.50 customer Smith, or whatever. And you don't have to have 50 lines in here with all the customers from the history. You can just change this number and put the customer in there. That way you know that profile is for that customer. So let's get started with the actual work on the configuration. So go ahead and start the August config tool. And when this opens up, it's going to walk you through a few steps to get it all set up and get you the information you need. So the first part is putting in the phone number. And this is the phone number that was used to set up the August account. Usually a cell phone number. So we just enter that in here. Again, the password, this is the password used to set up the August account. So this has to match. If you don't match the username and password, it'll actually prompt you and exit right out, and you'll have to run it again. Once that happens, this is just going to send you a text message, and you'll just enter that code in here and click enter. What that does is that verifies you are an authorized person on the account, and then spits out a bunch of information. This is the token that we were talking about, and also the lock ID and the name of the lock. So if you have more than one lock, it'll list them all right here. So let's go ahead and finish our profile. So we are going to highlight this. Make sure you don't get any extra characters at the beginning or the end of this token. This token has to be exactly how this is. So see how I've grabbed from the last character here and the first character there. We'll go ahead and copy. And then we're going to highlight this token word and paste. And there you go. There's the full token. You can verify the beginning and last letters. Again, this token is critical that it's exactly as it is here. This allows that to communicate properly. So now that we've changed that, let's go ahead and change our version number, 2.2, customer Gerber, and now we're going to save this file. File, save. So I can go ahead and close this. And we can see that I just edited this file, so we know that that's good. And we're going to go ahead and open up Blueprint. We're going to go to Preferences, and we're going to go and import our profile. So go ahead and make sure you have a custom profiles folder in here. If you don't, just hit this plus icon and create a custom profiles. You can't save into the system library. So I'm going to go ahead and import here into custom profiles. I'm going to navigate to my folder and select my profile. And you'll be able to verify right here, yep, version 2.2, that's the version I was working on. There's the icon, everything looks good. I'm going to import. It takes about 30 seconds for this to catalog all your profiles again, and speed of computer is going to dictate how long or slow, how quick or slow this is going to take. Once that's done, go ahead and close this preferences, and now we can build our config or add this to our blueprint. So I had already started kind of a basic one, and when I say started, it's one component. So we've got the host, and this will work on a smart host, so either host will work. I'm just going to change this to the foyer. And I'm going to now add our August lock. So once we've done this, generally for my profiles that I build, I put some notes in here that are good, helpful notes. And when we open that up, we can see that this address here is the address that we want to put on the Ethernet wire. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. The other thing we can verify is that this is the version number for the customer that we're working on. So if you've done a couple of these and you're at the Gerber house and this says Smith, it's not going to work because that's the wrong token. So you want to go ahead and verify to make sure that you've changed the version numbers in the 2 spots that you're supposed to, and that this is updated, so that you're and re-import that into your blueprint config. Okay, so I've copied that address, and now I'm going to draw my wire. Now I only have 2 components here. Normally you'd have a switch, so your wire would be drawing to your switch, but since I just have the 2 components, I can just make the connection between the 2. And I'm going to put the address that I copied in there. And that is that part. So now we just need to configure the actual lock addresses. So we're going to go to Settings, Door Locks. And in here, we're going to have a line, an entry line for every lock that we have. So for my install, I only have 1 lock. Maybe you have 2 or 3. You'll need to create a separate line for each of these. Select the zone that it's going to be in. It's a lock. Name the actual lock. So this is the front door. And the lock address. Now this lock address is back here in our script. And that's the lock address that we want. So we're going to copy that and paste that. And we're done. Now, what that's going to do is that's going to provide control of the lock, and the one piece that it won't do, unfortunately, because of a bug in Savant is it's not going to actually poll for status of the lock on a regular basis. So the last step that we need to do is right in the lock itself. We're going to open this up in Inspector. I double clicked on this. You can also click on it, highlight it, and go Show Inspector. Then we're going to go here and go to State Variables. You'll see here there's a list of 10 locks. This is just lock 1 through 10. Nothing real specific, no order or anything. Doesn't need to match anything else. These are just 10 locks that we can pull at regular intervals to get the status. And so we'll highlight one lock. We'll go down here to initial value. And I still have that lock ID in my clipboard, and I can paste it right in there and hit enter. And that's all we need to do. This allows Savant to pull at a regular interval to get the status of the door. And again, right here, this button notes is the same as this button here. But what we can see here is, you know, kind of the same thing that I just walked through. Enter the lock ID into the state variable and the data table. And then a couple pieces of information. We can create a custom workflow for low battery. I'll show you that in a second. Then August Sense, it's a little magnet that's installed at the door. It can tell if the door is open or closed. We will get that information back in this profile, so you can use that for a trigger as well. So that is that on the profile. So we're just going to go ahead and generate services. And we will upload this to the host. Now, while that's going right now, what I was going to do is, I'm not going to show you the user interface. That's the same no matter whose lock you use. But I did want to show you a few little troubleshooting steps to make sure that you got the lock set up, and a few things to look at if it's not working properly. So once this comes back up, there we go. So I'm going to go right into System Monitor, and we can go and check a few things here. So the first thing is the component status. This is making sure that we're actually communicating to the lock, or at least in this sense, we're communicating to the cloud. So I've highlighted August lock, and it's showing me information. Last message Savant sent, last message Savant received. So here we go. I'm sending a request and I'm getting information back. Perfect. I'm getting information back. Looks like it's intelligent information. It's about the front door and some more information I can't see or can't understand. So that's fine. At least I know I'm getting information back. So step one, my Ethernet wire and token, those two pieces are required for this. Now, if I was not getting any information here, if this was blank, then it was my Ethernet wire. I didn't put the right host address on the Ethernet wire, so check that. If I'm getting errors here, error messages, like something like unauthorized or error, or something that just looks like it's bad information back, then it's likely your token. Your token is wrong. Because if we're getting something back, we're talking to the server, but if it's an error, then we've got bad data that we're sending it. So those are two spots, real quick and easy way to troubleshoot that. The next thing is we go to System State, and we're going to look for August lock. That's what we named the device. So August lock, and then everything that's here, August lock, is stuff that is information that we are getting back from the door. So right now you see that the door is unlocked. We see that the battery percentage is 98%. So these are things that we can trigger on. And we see the name of the door. We say when the lock itself was added to the account. So you can see that was about a year ago. And the last time the door lock status was updated. So this is the last time a command was sent. So this is based on GMT, not our local time zone. So you'll have to do a little math to convert that. But that's pretty much it. If you're getting all this information, then you have successfully deployed it, and it should be showing up in your app appropriately. Any questions or problems, definitely feel free to reach out to me, and I can hopefully assist. Have a great day.